Arsenal are back on track, once again on top of the Premier League, but a massive game is approaching at the Emirates Stadium against Sean Dyche's Everton and a chance to pull 5 points clear. Today we'll get all of the latest, from Arsenal's new agreement via David Ornstein to the truth behind the Gabriel and Saliba bust-up. We'll also get a transfer update on potential new forward signings and break down all the team losing tactics as Arsenal take on Everton. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and I hope you guys are doing sensational and Arsenal have a massive opportunity this Wednesday. It's a big one against Everton. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Less than 1,000 away from 150k, we're so close, so I really appreciate it if we can make it happen. But let's start off with the latest Arsenal news. Arsenal put in a defensive monster class against Leicester this weekend. A 0.01 XG conceded, a record breaking defensive performance, and a key reason behind that was the performances of Gabriel Jesus and William Saliba. Back to their dominant best. These guys were impeccable, but after the game there seemed to be some sort of bust up. It seemed like both players were angry. There's been a lot of speculation despite keeping a clean sheet. What was happening there? Well, let's get to the bottom of it. Here are two photos of the altercation. Yes, they may have been pushing, but as you guys can clearly see, they're laughing and they're all smiles. The truth is, there was no bust up. There may have been some constructive criticism. Maybe the Arsenal players were unhappy with something, but smiles on their faces and going straight over to the Arsenal fans to celebrate. There's nothing to see here. But in terms of Gabriel Jesus, recently he's been flawless, and as Who Scored show, no player has made more last man tackles with 3 than Gabriel Jesus in the Premier League this season. And what's impressed me so much is how aggressive he's been going forward and helping Arsenal in terms of sustaining pressure. You look at the field tilt against Aston Villa and then the field tilt against Leicester, and that wave after wave of pressure is all because of how dominant our centre backs are in terms of keeping the opposition in their halves. Saliba and Gabriel are returning to their best, and it is allowing Arsenal to exert a different level of control. In terms of the French star boy, Arsenal are currently in negotiations to extend his contract. After sorting out Martinelli and agreeing with Bukayo Saka, William Saliba is their next priority. The Frenchman has given a massive hint, and he says, "I want to win everything possible here at Arsenal and put the club back on the very top. I want to win every title. Since the first time the fans sang my chants, I was always happy. I can't smile in the game because I have to be focused, but I love it so much." That sounds like a player very happy at the Emirates Stadium and very happy to extend his Arsenal contract. Mikel Arteta said time and time again that he's so happy with Saliba. Saliba loves life in London. Alongside Gabriel, he has formed a partnership and a friendship. As Saliba says on Gabriel, "Of course we are friends. We are happy to play together." He speaks French as well, so that's easy. I love to play with him. A really good player and a good leader as well. Saliba's 21, Gabriel's 25. These guys are only getting warmed up, and as things stands, are they currently the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League? But talking of centre-backs, Arsenal's January signing Jakub Kiwior has made his Arsenal debut. Alongside Emil Smith-Rowe, he was a part of the Arsenal under-23s who took on Chelsea, with Smith-Rowe and Kiwior both getting 45 minutes under their belts. Arsenal have a very set first team, but these two players can be very important going into the future, and even in this season with the massive games in Europa League, keeping these guys game sharp is very important. But what did we learn from Kiwior's first appearance in an Arsenal shirt? It was clear to see that he's a very composed player, and his passing was definitely standout, especially when he was going long. His ability to switch play was definitely there. And even in terms of ball striking, often we talk about the importance of it going forwards, but in terms of playing those long balls, the way Kiwior plays it, his technique is very clean and very flawless. That range of passing is very important because Arsenal want to maximise their control, and sometimes against deep blocks, the centre-backs need to be able to break the lines, and Kiwior showcased he had the ability. Now Arsenal do have a massive game upcoming in the Europa League, having drawn Sporting Lisbon in the last 16. Yes, Gabriel and Saliba have been flawless, but with the main focus being on the Premier League title, will Mikel Arteta throw in Jakub Kiwior in the Europa League? But we also have to talk about Emil Smith-Rowe. Despite being available on the bench against Leicester, he hasn't made an appearance for a long time. In this game he was decent. Smith-Rowe has played in multiple positions over the course of his Arsenal career, as a left winger, as a left number 8, but in this game what stood out was Smith-Rowe starting as a right-sided number 8. Mikel Arteta definitely would have instructed for Smith-Rowe to play in that position, and that suggests that going into the future he may have a different plan for the English star boy. Smith-Rowe is at his best when he's able to combine. Now playing in a 4-3-3, I don't think he has the explosive nature of Gabriel Martinelli in terms of playing as a left wide forward. Mikel Arteta definitely sees his future as an interior midfielder, and Smith-Rowe has all the ability, even though you've got Martin Odegaard playing in that position. Smith-Rowe's ability to combine and overlap with Bukayo Saka, this may be the best position to maximise the strengths of Emil Smith-Rowe. Now let's talk about Gabriel Jesus, who Manchester United's Sandro Martinez has named as his toughest opponent that he's faced in the Premier League this season. And In terms of his recovery, according to Kai Kayanak, Arsenal are hopeful of adding Gabriel Jesus back to the team before March's international break. The international break is not too far away in the middle of March, and that means that Jesus is getting closer and closer. He could be a week or so away from returning to full training, and then it's about getting him match sharp. Potentially we could see him build those minutes for the Arsenal under 23s. But post the international break, Arsenal have some gargantuan games. Man City away, Liverpool away. To have Gabriel Jesus available for those games with his experience of title races in tough moments and of course his natural ability, it could be a game changer. Moving on to transfer news, let's talk Raheem Sterling. According to Graham Bailey, Arsenal are monitoring Raheem Sterling as a part of Champions League preparations. Mikel Arteta has enjoyed Jorginho's influence and would like more experience next season to help his young squad. With the signings of Trossard and Jorginho, both players over the age of 27, it shows that Arsenal are now willing to add experience into the first team, and those two have made a massive difference. And yes, a young Arsenal team is very exciting, but at the same time, in tough moments you need experience, players that have been there and done it. With over 300 Premier League appearances and 100 Premier League goals, Raheem Sterling has that experience, but having signed for Chelsea this year, he has severely struggled, having only scored 6 goals all season. Under Graham Potter, he's been unable to maximise his strengths, but Mikel Arteta knows him very well. During his time at Man City working alongside Sterling, many people have claimed that Mikel Arteta played a massive part in Sterling's development into a world-class forward, a player that was scoring 20 goals a season, winning PFA Young Player of the Year. Chelsea have recently signed the likes of Mykhailo Mudryk and Onu Madueke, so reports have claimed Raheem Sterling may be available for a summer transfer. At 28 years of age and a peak of his powers, he's also got Champions League experience, and Arsenal will want to sign a new right forward, someone that can compete with Bukayo Saka. As it stands, it may be unpopular, but comment down below. If Raheem Sterling was available and Mikel Arteta wanted him, is he a player that you want at the Emirates Stadium? Talking of wide forwards, let's talk about Eintracht Frankfurt's Jesper Lindstrom. According to reports in Germany, Arsenal are serious about Lindstrom and are preparing their first offer. The player has told Frankfurt that he wants to leave. Lindstrom is a player that Arsenal have liked in the past. 22 years of age, a Danish international. This year for Frankfurt, he has 13 goals and assists in all competitions. Right-footed and able to play on the left and right hand side. And with the way he's developed Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, the signing of Leandro Trossard, Mikel Arteta knows his wide forwards. Lindstrom has a Frankfurt contract until 2026, and reports have claimed that Frankfurt won up to 40 million euros. The concern I have with Lindstrom is he seems pretty lightweight, and as a wide forward in the Premier League, you need to be able to hold your own, as you can see with Bukayo Saka. Comment down below right wingers that you believe Arsenal need to sign. Moving on to the midfield, let's talk Alexis Mac Allister. As according to Fabrizio Romano, Alexis Mac Allister would love to join a top club and has chances to leave Brighton this summer. Going forward, he definitely improved the Arsenal team, but defensively, there's a reason why Granit Xhaka starts every single Arsenal game. He provides the Arsenal midfield balance. Defensively, he's reliable. But in terms of Mac Allister, he's got the defensive work rates, averaging 2.5 tackles per game and 1.1 interceptions. That's higher than Granit Xhaka. Arsenal are going to be up against more and more deep blocks. Teams are going to show Arsenal a different level of respect, and the spaces are going to get even more limited. There's no blame that goes towards Granit Xhaka because he's not a natural attacker, but there's no denying that a different profile may take this Arsenal team to the next level. Talking of left-sided number 8, let's talk about Fabio Vieira. As Mikel Arteta says, he's starting to give me a big headache because I see every single day what he's capable of doing. A tremendous player. He now understands exactly what we want, and physically he's in the condition to compete at the right level in this league. Mikel Arteta believes that Fabio Vieira is now ready. Fabio Vieira has that final pass, and instinctively he is an attacker. And in Portugal, he was seen as the assist king, the most assists in the Portuguese league last season. This year we've seen it in glimpses. Fabio Vieira has a devastating final pass. Arteta believes Fabio Vieira is getting closer, but with Xhaka's defensive reliability, is Mikel Arteta going to make the change? Now let's talk about a future Arsenal midfield superstar. Arsenal have a tremendous academy in Hale End, and as we've seen with the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka, its impact on the first team is undeniable. The next wave of talent is on its way, and there's one player that stands out straight away. 16 years of age, Miles Lewis-Skelly, a central midfielder with so much potential. This guy is so complete. His passing is fantastic, able to play as a number 6, as a number 8. His standout attribute is definitely his ball carrying ability. And here's a recent clip of the player in action that went viral. As you can see, he glides with the ball and he takes it past player after player. And he's actually drawn comparisons to ex-Spurs midfielder Moussa Dembele. Arsenal may have a star in the making. They need to secure his future, and they understand that. David Ornstein confirms that Arsenal have reached agreements for top prospect Miles Lewis-Skelly to sign a scholar contract. The schoolboy registration ends this summer, so new terms will commit the coveted 16-year-old midfielder until 2025, and he's eligible to sign a pro deal when he turns 17 in September. This news could be massive for the future of the club, and we're not the only one that see the potential. A lot of the rival clubs like Chelsea, Man City and Co also like Lewis Skelly, but Arsenal realised how important this guy could be for the future, and they have done their job. And next up for Arsenal is the future of Ethan Nwaneri, who earlier in the season became the youngest player in Premier League history. Is also wanted by the likes of Chelsea and Man City. The youngsters are in demand and Arsenal have a battle on their hands. Now let's move on to Arsenal versus Everton. Another massive game at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal's game in hand, a chance to pull 5 points clear, and it's also a chance to get some revenge. Up against Sean Dyche's Everton, the team that beat Arsenal only a few weeks ago, have since been in hit and miss form, losing 2 out of 3 games. Then you have Arsenal, who are starting to build momentum once again with 2 wins out of 2. As Arsenal fans saw recently at Goodison Park, Everton can cause Arsenal issues, and these guys love the winner tackle, ranking the 6th highest in the Premier League. These guys have some physical monsters, and a prime example of course is Amadou Onana, who was the man of the match at the game at Goodison Park. In that game, Everton played a very deep block, and in this game I expect very similar. They were able to cut off the passing lanes going out wide, and Arsenal weren't able to cause issues. This time round, Mikel Arteta will need a different solution. But in terms of the team news, Everton are still without Andros Townsend, but more importantly, Sean Dyche has confirmed that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is unlikely to be fit for the game at the Emirates Stadium. Whereas in terms of Arsenal, still no Mohamed El Neni or Gabriel Jesus, but apart from that, everyone else is fit and available, and that includes Thomas Partey. So how exactly is Mikel Arteta going to line up? It's going to have to be the standard 4-3-3 formation. Ramsdale and goal on a back 4 of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and Zinchenko. A midfield 3 of Jorginho, Xhaka and Odegaard, and a front 3 of Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard and Bukayo Saka. The same exact team that started against Leicester, and the key dilemma for Mikel Arteta is the number 6. Is it going to be Jorginho or is it going to be Thomas Partey, who came off the bench against Leicester showing that he's fit and available? But Jorginho was once again excellent. His passing range has made Arsenal even more dominant. His most impressive attribute has definitely been his ability to break the lines. Against Aston Villa, Jorginho made 14 progressive passes, and against Leicester it was even better with 15 progressive passes. In total, with 3 Arsenal starts, Jorginho has made 43 progressive passes. Thomas Partey of course has the physique though, and Everton of course have the likes of Onana, Gana Gueye and Doucouré. Comment down below, who do you believe needs to start? In terms of the front 3, I think everyone can agree it needs to stay the same, with Trossard as the false 9. The game against Leicester was the first time in a while that I've seen a fluid Arsenal front 3. Trossard is a completely different profile to Eddie Nketiah. Here's the prime example of Nketiah's heat map against Aston Villa. This guy is always in the box. Here is Trossard against Leicester, and as you guys can see, is far more on the left hand side outside the box. In that game, Trossard made a total of 4 progressive passes, a feat that Eddie Nketiah has only achieved once since taking over from Gabriel Jesus. Mikel Arteta needed a different solution to break down a deep block, and Trossard has provided that. Let's not forget Trossard also has that ruthless and devastating ball striking. The prime example was of course his disallowed goal. The importance of Martin Odegaard is also going to be massive. In the game at Goodison Park, he wasn't really there to be seen, but as we saw in the game against Leicester, he was able to drift over to the left hand side and actually played a lovely pass in behind to Gabriel Martinelli, who was only just offside. We can't get physical, but we can get technical, and in this game the Arsenal attackers are going to be the key. Without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton won't have the same level of box threat, and their top goal scorer is Demarai Gray with only 3 goals. Arsenal of course currently are 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League, but this is our game in hand that if Arsenal were to win, that could become 5. It's a massive opportunity, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Which Arsenal players do you believe need to start? And most importantly, let me know your matchday predictions. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with the Arsenal loanees. Albert Sambi Lukanga put in a standout performance as Crystal Palace earned a point against Liverpool. In this game, Sambi looked excellent, and so many Crystal Palace fans are actually very happy about his performances. Sambi's a player that needs the faith and confidence, and this is exactly why Mikel Arteta has loaned him out to Crystal Palace. But then you have Marquinhos, on loan down in the Championship to Norwich City, and on Saturday made his first ever start for Norwich, and in that, he scored a goal and also got an assist. He has earned his way into the first team, and if he stays there, this guy has so much potential and all of the fundamentals to be such a top wide forward. Arsenal might have another star forward in the making. Now let's talk about the impeccable Arsenal away form. Arsenal have the best in the league with 13 games, 10 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses. In total, Arsenal have won 31 points away from home. To put that into context, Chelsea only have 31 points altogether. Arsenal have the away form of champions. It's now all about the home form. 2 games without a win. In this game, Arsenal need to get back on track. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all over social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and yes, things are happening, but right now the focus is all on Everton. It's time for a bit of revenge and maybe to pull 5 points clear in the title race. Let's see what happens, and I will see you next time. Take care, in a bit.